What's up, everybody? Welcome to the All Elite Wrap-Up. It is me, the OG Fig Kid, Thomas Montalto, Mike BELCASTER on assignment in Las Vegas. So I had to go out and try and search somebody that could fill his shoes, and this is one of my favorite people to work with. We got this guy right over here, Matt from the Extra Cooler Show. What's going on, Matt?
What's up, brother? I'm going to do my best to fill those very large shoes of the one and only Mike BELCASTER. So I've been practicing on my laugh. I don't think I'm going to hit it right, but I'm sure you'll get a few out of me. So thanks. I appreciate you bringing me on.
Dude, you know I love working with you and talking with you. It's
Likewise.
always fast when we're together. And little spoiler alert. Oh, look, we got Stoney McGee in the house, and Austin's in the house. What's up, Austin? Hope you're doing well. This is not the first time me and Matt have worked together today. If you turn into the Turnbuckle debate on Monday or Sunday night, if you want to watch it on YouTube during Double or Nothing. Oh, we got the Mrs. BELCASTER. What's up, Nicole?
All right, I'm tagging out. She's in. Let's go.
You'll want to turn into the Turnbuckle debate show this week because Matt is the guest this week. We have 3 awesome topics, so check it out. It'll be fun. But before we get started, let's just plug the Tavern really, really quick. Head on over to theturnbuckletavern.com. Follow, like, and subscribe to us everywhere you possibly can. Please leave a review, leave some comments. It all absolutely helps. Before we do anything else, head on over to prowrestlingtees.com/tavern. Order a shirt, and this just in, as of a couple of hours ago, we have 4 brand new shirts up on Pro Wrestling Tees, including 2 awesome new Fig Night shirts designed by none other than Extra Cooler, Nick. And they are amazing shirts. You'll want to get the Fig Guy shirts. There's also a Fed Brain shirt. You could laugh, Matt. Yes. You'll get it on Monday.
Yep, you'll get it on Monday. I displayed some of my I displayed some of my Fed Brain.
And also, we also have a Yeehaw Marks shirt. So it's some great new shirts. Go check it out. Oops, we're naked. And also, guys, while you can this weekend, make sure you are following Official Fig Night because Mike BELCASTER will be going live from Vegas, showing off some of the new reveals that Jazzwares will be showing with new AEW figures. And who knows what's going to come out of there. So you're going to want to stay glued to Official Fig Night on Instagram if you are a Fig fan, because there's going to be some amazing stuff shown this weekend. Little birdie told me. I don't know what, but just tune in and follow Mike, follow us. It's great. So are you ready? Ready to get into this there, Mr. Matt?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, let me see. Okay, here we go. Let's do it.
It's showtime, folks.
So we got a go-home edition of Dynamite tonight. Man, you know, they say fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, or is I saying it backwards? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's better, right? And every time there's a pay-per-view in AEW, I get excited for the go-home show. And I often leave feeling empty. Matt, what did you think of tonight's go home show?
Why? Tell me why. I don't get it. You have to fill me in. Why did you feel empty?
I mean, okay, so the ending was good, but first of all, no Kenny Omega tonight.
Sure, fine.
He's a major part of the Anarchy in the Arena, which for all intents and purposes, that match could be the main event. That match should be the main event.
Agreed. Continue.
But you don't have Kenny Omega there. Like, I don't know. I didn't feel like it left me any more excited for the pay-per-view than I was going into the show tonight. And it bothers me. Like, when I see a go-home show for any wrestling company, I want to be more excited for the pay-per-view than I was before I watched it. And it did nothing to do that for me.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like it hit the marks. I feel like you went through, it wasn't a recap show, which is something that just drives me absolutely insane when it's the go home show and you just get a whole bunch of recaps and BS along with it. But it was really fast paced. I felt like it delivered every single step of the way. I felt like maybe it was because I was rushing to like watch it to get here on time, which is very difficult for me with 2 little kiddos at home, getting them through bedtime and all that jazz. But regardless, I made it. I'm very thankful and happy. But man, it just felt really good. It felt like it was fast paced. I felt like I wasn't bored with what was going on. And I felt like the matches delivered, the promos delivered. I think if you're really talking about making you more excited for the pay-per-view, talk to me more about why that didn't happen in the very last main event segment. Why didn't that do it for you?
Well, I like that segment. I did, but I was hoping for a little bit more of a pull apart. Like I kind of
Just
had
to
an idea, like when that match was the main event. Okay, this is something's gonna happen, and okay, that was a good match. Anytime the Lucha Brothers are on TV, it's a good match. Like,
100% agreed.
to be honest, love those guys. Love what they do in the ring. Those guys could have a good match with anyone. Like that's the old proverbial thing. They could have what is the old saying? There was a saying about that.
A match with a broom.
Yeah, match with a broom, which I think Kenny Omega did actually.
Yes, you're right. And I understand the disappointment of Kenny not being there. It certainly was a void, but Hangman was there in a backstage promo. He didn't get involved in the finish either. So
No, but why aren't the two teams facing off to end the show?
I mean,
maybe I'm nitpicking.
You are absolutely nitpicking. 1000% you're nitpicking. I think it did it, man. And Mox, what did Mox say to finish it?
I liked Mox at the end.
Yeah, and that's where like I'm left with that I watched about 3 minutes ago before signing on. Like that to me of him saying that if you're squeamish about blood, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like I was like, all right, sign me up. I'm gonna spend my money, slap it down, let's go.
Okay, I agree with that.
You're nitpicking, man.
Maybe I am nitpicking because I like that, but I just thought both teams should have been squaring off at the end, not just the Bucks with the whole.
Sure. I understand.
And maybe that is partially nitpicking. Like you said, we did see Hangman in a backstage segment. There was a few other questions. We got Tyson here too. Ooh, we got the Broadcast podcast here. Dude, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Yeah, I don't know. So, okay, okay, that was a great match, but okay, let me be nitpicky again.
Let's go.
Okay, Ring of Honor has their own show. Why are we getting a Ring of Honor tag team title match on the show other than to get these guys involved in a spot that can end the show to set up the pay-per-view, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, during the backstage promo with the Blackpool Combat Club, right? It's part of it was the setup of Claudio and Yuta are going to go out and win the ROH titles, and then we're gonna, go out and show you why we are the best at this and why we are the greatest faction in the world, or whatever they said along those lines. But that was the shoehorned way of doing it. But yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm watching the Extra Cooler Show Discord blow up too about an ROH match, like an ROH match as the main event of a go home show. Like I understand, but this one I can understand the nitpicking a little bit better here, Tom. But still, I think it was all in service of trying to get this Young Bucks super kick party to finish off the night. And sure, I am one that would love to see the hard brand split, if you will, be with the ROH and AEW sides. And that's really what I hope for, but we're slowly hoping to get there. But yes, I understand that nitpicking very much so.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's nitpicking again, but I understand why they did it tonight. But Ring of Honor has its own 2-hour weekly show on Honor Network, or whatever it's called, Honor Club. Honor Club? Yeah, which I still need to subscribe to. And I will one of these days. I really want to catch up on the old Ring of Honor stuff, but that's a whole story for another day. So yeah, you had that tag team match there. The thing that I loved the most out of that match was the swing with the drop kick by Wheeler Yuta. Dude, that's got to be dangerous. That's got to be dangerous. Did you catch that?
I did. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine oof. I can't imagine protecting yourself when you're being spun like that. Like it's just crazy.
It's faith in your opponent that he's going to take care of you, right? That's part of the beauty, part of the art.
Okay, so I am looking forward to the Anarchy in the Arena match, and I did like Mox's little thing on the mic. Let me ask you another question. Mox was fine on the mic tonight. What do you think overall of Mox promos?
Tonight, Mox was like this just deadpan stare.
Yes.
Into my soul as I was sitting there and watching him, and I loved it. Like
I agree.
I totally did the backstage segment, and then he's fired up at the very end when he's got the mic in the ring. He just let the Young Bucks run away from him, and I totally get it. I enjoy Mox. I feel like he has the passion behind what I want to see in a wrestler without moving too far into 80s, early 90s territory where Legion of Doom is just screaming at you for 30 seconds. So
Yeah.
I really enjoy Mox.
Mox is
Man, we're on two different pages tonight, huh, Tom?
No, I've said I love Mox. Like I want to know what it. Mox is one of my favorite things in AEW, and I thought he brought it tonight. I thought he was phenomenal. So, oh, okay. Swiss and Kid did the same thing in WWE. See, I don't remember that spot.
Yeah.
There. Thank you, Tyson.
Yeah. Thank you, Tyson. I was trying to remember where we had seen it before, and it was Tyson Kidd with
Kid,
Cesaro.
he was just like what a shame he got hurt because what a worker he was, man.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's super trusted in the ring. He's probably my favorite agent in WWE. All right, so let's move on throughout other parts of the show. What stood out to you? What did you love?
What did I love? I was impressed with the fact that AEW pulled off a very sports entertainment contract signing. I enjoyed it. I thought that the subtleties were very nice. The opposite ends of the table, the gentleman's agreement of no physicality, even though Jericho was pushing him and pushing him and pushing Cole to, touch me, which I thought was an interesting choice of words, but that's okay. For me, I just thought it was really good. I think, our buddy Acefield Retro put on Instagram, I didn't have Sabu on my Memorial Day bingo card. And that's exactly how I felt too, man. So
as soon as he said homicidal, did you pop?
Oh, I did.
I
definitely did. And I felt like the crowd, like a sliver of the crowd went, oh, and then he said suicidal, and then the whole crowd popped. And the best part of the entire thing is Taz going, oh no.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, man, I popped for Sabu. That guy, man, I always was disappointed he never got a bigger run in a major company because it was one of my favorite things to check in on ECW. The guy was just before his time. He really was ahead of his time.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think I understand why and how it fits with Cole. Like, how does he fit into this story? Maybe this is the void of the difference between me and Belcaster. I'm sure he would be able to tell us in every little sense of the word why it was important and why he can connect it to Jericho and ECW or whatever the case may be. But to me, it just, I liked the involvement. I just don't see where it comes into play. Like, yeah. Is he the like Undisputed Era's like sixth member? Is that where we're headed?
Weird thing. Like, it's still like my wife said, she pointed out, well, that's all good and all. She goes, but it's still 5-on-3.
Yeah, it sets up for Kyle O'Reilly, who I don't know where his health is. Is there a Bobby Fish potential return, and we get the true Undisputed Era in AEW? That one I wouldn't put on my bingo card either, to steal Ace's vernacular. But
I don't think Bobby Fish will be returning anymore.
Yeah. But for me, it's making way for Kyle O'Reilly without a doubt. But I don't know.
Here's the thing, I don't even know if Sabu even wrestled lately. Is he able to go? Like, I saw him flinging chairs when he was in there. And I got to admit, this is the best version of Adam Cole we've seen in AEW so far.
1,000%.
Like,
1,000%, yes.
Honestly, like, unfortunately, he had that injury and he was out for all that time. But I feel like it's been a reset, a much-needed reset. And this is the Adam Cole that we all love. Like, we got to forget that whole Orange Cassidy feud and that terrible, terrible lights out match.
Yeah, I was going to say it's unfortunate to have anybody injured, especially one of what Cole had. And like, yes. But I feel like it allowed him to hit the reset button, because he left our screens with essentially the last thing with the Elite was him and Kenny like not getting along, and they haven't revisited it at all. And It doesn't fit in the current storytelling. So thankful for the opportunity for him to, everybody always says, an opportunity to be missed, right, when you're off people's screens. So I don't know, felt like this is a good reset. The passionate Cole promos are here. The look in his eyes is what does it for me. When he's at the end of that table and screaming at Jericho in that passionate way that only Cole seems to be able to pull out, like the look on his face is just dialed in, and I gravitate towards it.
And when Jericho showed the video of what happened with Britt again, like, Cole's played this so perfectly. This is the serious Cole. This is what I love. I can't wait. I'm excited for this match. This is probably the second most excited match I'm looking forward for this weekend.
Yeah. Jim from the Extra Cooler Show said the same thing when we recorded last night. He was like, this is the one that he's looking forward to, especially now, understanding it's an unsanctioned match. It brings the level up even further. Cole is talking about having blood on his hands. Like I think we're in for some blood on some bloodbath this upcoming Sunday.
Hey, listen, I'm all here for that. I have no issues with that. Let's talk about the heavyweight title match, the AEW championship match. We got a little segment tonight after. I know you're not, enthralled with this match, to put it lightly.
Man, so this is Fed Brain coming around, right? So I personally always believe that the title should be the most important thing in your Fed, in your wrestling company, right?
Hold on, we got a call. Let's see. Hello? Hello? Mike? Can you hear me, Mike?
Hello.
Hello?
It is very loud. Sorry, there's nowhere quiet in Vegas, surprisingly, so I'm trying not to have music playing.
That's all right. Well, on the phone, we have Mike BELCASTER live from Las Vegas, guys. He just was at Dynamite.
Oh.
What did you think of the show, Mike? Give us some live reports.
It was a good show. It was hot. It was great. The crowd was rocking. We got the big announcement from Tony Khan that Collision is coming to Chicago. It was a fun time, man. Orange Cassidy was so over with the crowd. It was really good. It was insane, man.
So the crowd was very receptive there.
Hold on, you're breaking up on me. I can't hear you.
Oh no. So the crowd was very receptive there. Like how'd the crowd react? Because we didn't get to hear the crowd much when Tony. Uh-oh.
Stand by.
All right. We're live, folks. I feel like
thing, man. Yeah, I'm not trying to talk over you. Go ahead. Keep talking.
No, tell us how the crowd reacted when they announced that the Collision was going to be in Chicago. Can you hear me?
I can kind of hear you. Hold on. I stopped moving. Maybe I'm trying to see if that works. The Wi-Fi is absolutely terrible here. I apologize.
Oh no. Well, we could actually hear you pretty good, so
that's good.
Tell us how the crowd reacted to Collision.
Basement, to be honest with you.
Yeah. How did the crowd react to the announcement of Collision being in Chicago?
Oh, there was big CM Punk chants, and then they were booing. Half the crowd was booing, half the crowd was cheering for CM Punk.
That's what I thought I heard. I loved it, man.
I loved it too. I was super down for it.
It's going to be very interesting because no matter where Punk goes, he's going to have his loyal followers, and then there are going to be so many people who hate him right now. It's going to be so interesting to see when he returns and how he returns. But I'm glad to see the crowd was a mixed reaction. That's actually really good. I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. What else can you tell us?
We want the cheers and the boos, right? Because that's what they set up. We want to not be cheering for CM Punk, and we also want the people to be cheering for CM Punk. Am I wrong?
No, not at all.
And they allowed the boos and the CM Punk chants to play in the background as they were coming back into the arena. So like if you listen carefully, you could actually hear it. But I'm thankful that Mike was there to confirm that it wasn't playing tricks in my mind. Like it was actually happening in the arena. So that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I'm going to try to video in since it's so glitchy on my end. Give me 2 seconds. If not, I'll call you right back.
All right.
He's
going to try to video in to be with us here. But we got live reports. Mike.
Love it. Coming through.
And you don't forget, guys, I'll say it again, official Fig Night on Instagram. Follow it all weekend long. Mike will be posting updates going live. You won't want to miss this one. So, I mean, what did you think of the main event segment for tonight, setting up the main event?
I enjoyed the MJF promo, aside from maybe he gets real heel heat from me when he starts clamoring on about his contract status. It just, I think it really bothers me. Like when he brings it up, I'm like, get over this crap. So for me,
There we are.
All right.
I haven't
Sounded much
Now I
better.
don't. Yes, no, you guys are so much clearer. I think Tom's basement really deflects the phone calls. So I'm happy to be here live at the MGM Grand here in Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, boys?
Find an AEW guy and bring him live on the show.
It's what I do. I'm committed, right? I'm dedicated. This is how we roll.
Like, what did you think? I was just asking Matt about this. What did you think about the MJF segment and Matt setting up the main event? Well,
I listen. The MJF thing, it's cool. It comes off nice, but I don't feel the build for it. I'm not 100% committed to the match yet. And tonight was the night they were supposed to sell me on it. This was a very lackluster go home show, if you will.
I agree.
But like I said, the crowd for what they were hot for, they were hot, but they were very cold, and that arena was not filled to the brim like I was expecting it to be. I was expecting a lot of people. Remember last year, I had third row seats. I was rocking and rolling. We had a packed house. It was so fun. This year, it's kind of the opposite, right? It's a little off.
Yeah.
So for me, watching along, I felt like the Orange Cassidy match, the crowd was really out of it. Like they were on their ass. They were like the people in the front row were looking at their phones, and I was like, "Oh no, we're not off to a good start." And then I felt like it really picked up after that match. Really when FTR hit the ring is when I felt like the crowd picked up, and then they pretty much plateaued throughout the entire evening. We were pretty on point with a good crowd. I wouldn't say a great crowd, but definitely a good crowd. Nothing against you, Mike. I'm sure you were fantastic.
No, listen, I was screaming my ass off. You know what? I will chalk it up to. I think a lot of people aren't traveling in until the weekend, so
Yeah.
the arena wasn't filled to capacity like it probably should have been. But it was still. Listen, it's awesome to be at the MGM Grand Ballroom. To watch wrestling. It's hosted so many awesome shows. So absolutely. I was expecting a little bit more out of the crowd. I was, but they did pick up a lot. There's some spots where it was crazy. Weird to have your go-home show main evented by a Ring of Honor tag team match. I would rather have them save the MJF thing until the end, because you should be building your champion, and that should be your go-home, right? Just little tidbits that I'm picking up on. Like, come on, man, you guys could do better.
Yeah, we were headed down that path for that conversation with that. My gripe has been with AEW for a long time is that the main title is not your main event. Even though MJF said it in his promo that the four pillars, even though he didn't call them four pillars, but the pillars are going to be in the main event of a pay-per-view in Las Vegas, and I just can't see that finishing your show. I just can't see it.
Yeah, no, it was weird. And the crowd wasn't really reacting for it. Surprisingly, Sammy Guevara had the biggest pop out of all four of those guys.
See, and I think that's what they're doing, man. Even down to his gear tonight. He had the big, fuzzy, furry jacket back again, which is like babyface Sammy. This whole reality show is really turning the dial on him to be a babyface. MJF coming through, Renee reporting that MJF comes through and says the offer is still on the table to lay down for him. And in the most babyface way possible, he flips the two middle fingers essentially and says, "Yeah, go blow, guy." So I think Sammy is the full out babyface here, and I really can't see anyone taking the belt off of him at this point. But if there's anybody that AEW is trying to push as the guy that can do it, it's Sammy. Even though Tony Schiavone is saying it's Jungle Boy.
See, I don't buy Jungle Boy whatsoever. Whatever it is, something is just not selling his character through, and it just doesn't feel like it's his time yet. I up until tonight, I was the only other person I could think that would beat him would have been Darby, and Darby's climbing Mount Everest, as he said on national television. Like, what is that going to do for wrestling now? I don't know. It's a weird angle. I hope they figure and I hope they book it well. I hope they do a great job. I love everything else though. The stuff with the Blackpool Combat Club was so good. The Young Bucks coming into the main event, that was nice. Was not expecting it, but it was really cool. But listen, this is a hard dynamite for going into a pay-per-view, especially their biggest pay-per-view of the year, basically.
It's a really interesting point that what you said of like, and Arn said it 4 days before the before the pay-per-view, you're playing in the same town, bro. Like,
yeah,
you're trying to pack an arena that somebody's gonna have to now sink extra hotel money just to get out there, which I commend you, Mr. Belcaster.
Listen, man,
I wish I could be with you.
It was you. Sometimes you got to make the hard choices, right?
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
It was a hard day to walk the kids to school and say I have to leave for the week. But this is part of the experience. This is what we got to do as wrestling fans. They're getting their scissor me daddy figures. Everything's gonna be okay. But these trips are not affordable. My biggest mind-boggling question is where do wrestling fans get all the money to do everything? Like WrestleMania, I've seen people spending thousands and thousands of dollars. Same thing here. I mean, a little less because the merch stands aren't so extravagant and so elaborate. But I mean, damn, man, that is a hard thing to do. It's these locational pay-per-views. Yeah, but everybody turns up. That's the thing. There's a lot of people here from out of town that are here to watch their company succeed. I applaud every single one of them.
Yeah.
Not including myself because I got to deal at the hotel with my awesome MGM boy. but it's wild, man. I think this was very lackluster though for a go home to your number one pay-per-view of the year. I mean, if you want to call this their WrestleMania, which I mean, it's hard to argue which AEW show is AEW's WrestleMania because All In's huge, All Out's huge. I mean, it's a lot, but Double or Nothing is the staple of what AEW's been based off of, and it's hard to watch what we watched and be like, man, I'm fucking stoked for this Sunday show. Like I'm all in. You know, it's crazy.
And I felt like it did it in spurts, right? So like, there were things that made you wanna get invested even further, but there were other things that were a bit inconsequential, and there were matches where, like, I like going into the Orange Cassidy conversation, like that dude, what he's doing for that. I almost called it all international title.
You're not wrong.
But, like, what he's doing for that title is incredible, and him being able to put it on his back and carry that to a place of prominence and making that title worth everything on the show is awesome. And just the matches that they're putting forward, he always looks like he's inches away from death, and then he pulls off a victory. Like I'm very, very impressed with what he's doing. But there were other parts that just, meh, you know?
Yeah.
But
no, listen, that match had a lot of stiff, tough spots. And, man, I applaud Orange Cassidy for getting in there and taking it all. I mean, he's killing it. He's got a great gimmick. That was the thing I was thinking the most during it all, was I am so happy the fan base took to the Orange Cassidy gimmick because it's so good. But it has to reflect the crowd. He is over in a way that nobody else on that roster is over. If anybody should be in that championship match, I think Orange Cassidy is a number one contender for that shit. It's wild.
I will admit it took me a long time to get behind Orange Cassidy. And
yeah.
I think that this title run is really what did it. And the ability in the ring as opposed to the gimmick that I don't necessarily find myself getting behind. I know it's cute and whatever, but it's just not for me. But did you find that in the arena that the pacing of the show was a benefit? Like, did it feel fast, or are you sitting back and like waiting for the next thing to happen?
It's the one benefit of AEW. I'm sorry, Frank Sinatra is singing over me a little bit too much here, but all their shows seem to fly by no matter what. And it's a good testament of how they book their cards, their pacing of the shows. Their shows are so well put together that, like, I looked at the clock, I was like, shit, we got the main event already. I texted Tom, I was like, is this the main? Like, we're already here? Like, oh my God, like, I can't believe it. And they did a really good job. They always do a really good job with that on their Dynamites.
So I when we kicked off the show tonight, Tom and I were on the opposite sides of the fence. Like, I was thinking that the Dynamite was really good, and I think that the pacing and me being so invested in every word that was going on allowed me to get lost in the show. And then I'm hearing you guys talk about it and looking at the things that were here that were a little more inconsequential is my favorite wrestling word right now. But I don't know, man. There's things in here that are just meh, but they hit everything. Every match that's on the card this weekend had a segment, had a point where, sure, it didn't necessarily move the needle in every aspect. I fast forwarded through the Taya match, to be completely honest with you, but every single.
Yeah,
I'm sure you wish you had the opportunity.
We could talk about a dead spot. That was very. Has Lady Frost been on AEW before?
No. Well, yes. But not Dynamite. This was they said it on the show that it was her Dynamite debut.
Okay.
They showed some clips from ROH, but no, this was her Dynamite debut.
So she is a Midwest sweetheart, for the indie scene, and I've seen her live a bunch of times, but it felt out of place a little bit. Why show the Willow package with her, in the match with Sasha Banks, and not have her on the card against Lady? Did something mix it up a little bit. Would have been great for that. But that's one match. She doesn't have a spot on the pay-per-view this weekend, right? True. Yeah.
So there's no reason to put her on Dynamite, and this was a nice tip of the cap to be hey, you just beat Mercedes Moné, Money, whatever, Sasha Banks over the weekend, and you got an opportunity to put Sasha on Dynamite. She was there in a losing capacity, but
it was weird.
She was there. It was very, very weird.
Yeah. But that's the thing, why not save that for Forbidden Door? I don't know how extensive Sasha's injury is. I don't know how long.
It sounds like a broken ankle.
Yeah. So Forbidden Door be damned, right? But I don't know what's the point of showing it if you're not going to allude to her being on there eventually. I don't know. It's not even judgmental. It's just a why. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it was self-serving to just get Sasha on our screens.
Yeah, a lot of people in the crowd were "Oh, she just fucked up Anna Jay though," and I was "Yeah." So, and then Sasha fucked up. And I was where's the lie? What are we doing here? I get it. They had to put the title on her. It's all good, but. Just there were some off spots like that were it was still a great Dynamite, don't get me wrong, but was it a go-home show for a big pay-per-view? I didn't feel that.
That's a perfect way to explain it, Mike.
Yeah, I liked it. I loved it. That PR thing with fucking Briscoe was awesome. Loved them bringing up, we did this 3 times last year. We got to do this. Huge. Awesome. And I did text in our Tavern chat. I shit all over that stage design when they first debuted it. It looks immaculate in person. Immaculate. It was so awesome. Orange Cassidy's entrance looked beautiful. Everybody. The House of Black match. Holy shit. I thought I was watching wrestling on mushrooms. It was amazing. I couldn't have had a better time. I took a video of it because I was astonished at how good the aesthetic of it is. If there's one thing anybody can learn off the WWE, if you're going to book Bray Wyatt to be a fucking crypto character like that, this is the style it should be. It should not be goofy. It should be fucking little out there, but keep it focused with the in-ring shit, because that was fun. That was really good.
Would you say that there is a entrance better than the House of Black?
Not now.
Mike?
Dear Lord.
Mike, they put it in picture-in-picture.
I see this is the problem I have.
So,
we know I'm very against picture-in-picture, but that aesthetic, that needs to be full-blown.
It was half.
It
was half.
That pissed me off.
The entrance ramp was on television. They get to the ring, and then it goes picture-in-picture. And I was
I don't know if I posted the picture of it, but I got to post the picture of it. I'm trying to get my phone set up so I can grab a cigarette out. But, if you want to put focus on anybody in your roster, those three, Buddy Murphy looks like a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
I'm watching, 20 rows back, and I'm like, damn, Buddy Murphy's fucking jacked. He's got the look. Same thing with Brody. Same thing with Malachi. Like, they all are so good. I mean, Julia even has gotten so much bigger and better the last couple months, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Those guys are, and I'm telling you, the aesthetic of the match is just perfect. That's how it should be.
It comes through on the television too. Like everything about it, I gush over. It's so good.
So you ready for this, guys? House of Black doesn't have a match on Sunday on the pay-per-view. How's that even possible?
I don't know what they're doing with that.
I mean, they're one of my favorite things in all of wrestling. I fell in love with Buddy Murphy, Buddy Matthews, when he started having those matches with Malachi Black on the pre-shows for pay-per-views in WWE, and I'm like, damn, this guy can work. And I love Aleister Black, I love Malachi. So, like, this trio for me is just so enticing. I can't get enough of them. I can't believe they don't have a storyline going into this pay-per-view. I was just looking at the card as you guys were talking. I think maybe part of the problem with the Go Home show is I feel like this is the weakest card we've seen going into a AEW pay-per-view.
Into a double or nothing.
Yeah, like I'm not saying like I have full confidence that when I pay $50 to watch this show on Sunday night, it's going to deliver. They don't ever seem to let us down. But like, let's run down the card really. So I have it right here. There's 9 matches announced.
I have to ask you. I have to.
No, we need to talk about it.
So, Tom, before we get to the card, do you mind? I'm the guest. I shouldn't be asking these questions.
Oh, go ahead.
Do it.
So, Mike, before we were talking about the Adam Cole segment and how much I enjoyed like the ability that AEW to pull off a very sports entertainment style segment, right?
Yeah.
How does Sabu fit into this story? Like, teach me. I don't understand it.
I don't know, but I was so fucking happy to see Sabu come out. One of my favorite all-time talents, and you can put that bar on to anybody. The work Sabu has done for this business is that there's nobody that can compare the blood, sweat, and tears that Sabu put into this shit. And I was sitting next to somebody, and I was explaining to them, they're like, who's Sabu? I was like, what? And I was like, he wrestled a barbed wire death match with Terry Funk, ripped his whole arm open, and taped it together and finished the match. Guy is a legend. Sabu passed his prime a little bit. I think he's retired, isn't he? He doesn't wrestle anymore.
Yeah, Tyson said it in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love it, but where does he fit in? If we were in Las Vegas, why did they not even the numbers with Sabu and Van Dam, who lives out here? Like, why couldn't we get one more? Like, that's where I thought. I was like, oh, shit, we got Sabu. We're getting RVD next. We didn't get it. Like, 3 people against 5. That's, you know what I mean? Like, they should have evened the numbers that way, made it cool, and had it work. But regardless, Sabu, I mean, he's past his prime, but I fucking love Sabu. I'll pop for it. It's like seeing Terry Funk get introduced to the ring, you know? You're like, oh, he's a legend. I love it. And I've only seen Sabu wrestle like 3 times, so to see him in the ring tonight, it made my marquee little heart, my ECW, my shot of nostalgia. It kicked me right back there, man. I was so pumped for it.
That's awesome.
Matt said he was one of the reasons why I ever paid attention to ECW. He was really, truly before his time because he fits more in with the style today. And really, a trailblazer for his time because I think so much of what we see today is due to Sabu and what people saw him.
Of course. Yeah.
And I was always like, Matt, I'm so disappointed that we never really saw Sabu get a major push and a major promotion. Like, if a guy nobody deserved it more than that guy did.
Listen, for what WWE did for Sabu, I give not only Sabu credit for doing it, but I give WWE the most credit for putting him on a match with John Cena. I mean, they gave him the platform. I mean, I'm sure WWE, ECW is nothing we want to remember fondly, but there are parts of it that, like, listen, I'm here for Big Show being a hardcore guy. Ric Flair wrestling hardcore matches, sign me up. Sabu was a big part of that. When they came out with the SmackDown versus Raw that had the ECW talent in it, I was over the moon to buy a game that had Sabu feature. It was the coolest shit in the world. They had the Arabian face buster in the game where you could do the fucking the moonsault off the chair. Sabu is a legend, and give credit where credit's due. Guy deserves all the spotlight. All I said was I hope we get a Lumineers Sabu figure.
Sign me up for that, man. I know we have. Yeah. I would love one to fit in with the rest of my collection.
Yeah, no, and listen, we're rocking and rolling. We're in the right spots, but unbelievable. It was a weird fit, but it did fit. It was cool. The Tron was awesome. Like there's those little things that you see live that might get cut off on TV. When Sabu came out, I seen the Tron. I was like, oh. Heard the music. Yeah. I was like, yeah, here we are. Like, this is what's up. Like, this is what wrestling's all about. Is you get those little moments.
The announcers, the part here when Cole says homicidal, and then the crowd pops a little bit. So it was you and a couple of the other ECW dudes that were in there. And then he says suicidal, and Taz goes, oh no. And it was just chef's kiss, man. It was so good that Taz on commentary like acknowledged it right away. And then you saw the Tron come up with Sabu on it, and he wasn't out yet. And then you see him walk out. It was like, oh, here we go, man. It was really well done.
That makes me happy to hear. That's one thing that sucks when you are at the live events. You miss those cool little call outs. But Taz, brother, it's fucking Sabu. And like, you know, he's suicidal, homicidal. Like, I'm please, give me all of it, man. And, what a shame that Taz can't go out there and work one more match. Because how awesome would that be to see him go out there and like choke somebody out? I would pop my ass out for it. But still cool. Like it had no place on the card, has no place in the lore of it all, but it's there now, and I'm cool with it.
I was just so curious of like, all right, am I just stupid and didn't understand of how this could fit? And I was expecting you to be like the Charlie Day with the ropes behind you of like, all right, here's how he fits. And
this man Sabu came from ECW and so did Lionheart, Chris Jericho. But I mean, that if you want to put it into a place, that they wrestled together. Jericho has fought Sabu many times in ECW, and I mean, if you're going to throw Jericho off of all people, who else can you bring out? Where do you go from it? So I guess it was a good pop, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It kind of reminded us of me when we were at Grand Slam, and I got to see the Great Muta in person.
And shit like that, you can't take it for granted, you know. Like literally, that could be the last time I got to see Sabu in a ring. I'm cool with it. They did a good job.
And everything in there. It was cool to see him there.
Yeah.
Sounds like you'll have one more on Sunday at least.
Yeah, right. No, but once I heard the music, I was little kid BELCASTER all over.
Yeah, love it.
That's
so good. So
good.
I agree 100%. So let's run down the card really quick. So apparently there's a match. I didn't even hear this match announced, or maybe I just don't care. The Hardy versus the Firm. I thought the Firm was deleted and done. But,
they should have left it at that.
It's Ethan Page and the Guns, no? Right?
Hardy on Ethan Page's contract if he's again.
Yeah.
We could do that, but we can't have House of Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really get it, but okay. Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie. They've built this.
I'm here for that. That's going to be good.
This. Get the 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal.
I'm here for that. That's going to be wild.
Do you guys think Orange Cassidy walks out as champion?
And if not, what a way to go out.
Yeah.
I hope it's somebody worthy of taking it off of him, though. I don't want it to be the guy from the fucking Aussie fan club or whatever they're called. I want it to be good.
We didn't mention this yet, but it was announced during the show tonight that Aussie Open is signed to AEW.
Good. They should be. That was a very good match, but there were some rough spots in it. Like there were some times where I thought Orange Cassidy got fucking killed, and I was like, oh, but they did it right, you know.
I think Orange Cassidy wins this battle royal in Orange Cassidy style.
The fact that we can put our hands in our pockets in the video game makes me the happiest person in the world.
So we get FTR versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett.
Good fucking promo by FTR.
It was.
Washed up TNA fucking tag team, Dixie Carter thing, good points. And then that's not even talking about Mark Briscoe coming out, so that was good. I thought it was really well done.
Briscoe coming up the aisle like that
Oh,
popped me
dude,
huge.
and such a somber but awesome moment when their music hits and the Tron hits, and both Trons say Mark and Jay Briscoe. Like that, there's a group of guys I only got to see a handful of times as well, and like it's so bittersweet that we have to watch, Mark do this by himself. But he's got the attitude, he's got the chutzpah, man. Guys feeling it. I'm here for it. I'm excited for that match just based on their chemistry. Let alone you take Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal out of the equation, it's going to be great regardless,
So another thing you likely missed being in the arena is when Mark Briscoe comes up and grabs Jay Lethal at the very end. The thing that he said was, "Look, man, I don't give a damn about none of these clowns. You're my boy, and you know that." Then he grabs his face and he's like, "I'm getting tired of this bullshit." And they muted it out, but it was like, all right, Mark's done with everybody. Like,
I like
just
it.
out of my way, man. It
Good.
was really good.
I like that. That's good. See, it's like I said, little things you miss when you're live.
I got you.
I
appreciate it.
I can't wait to go home and watch it.
I mean, listen, I got a whole week here. I can watch all the Dynamite I need to.
Next match, Wardlow versus Christian Cage. Pairs.
Where was that tonight?
There was a backstage with Wardlow and Arn Anderson, and that was it.
All right, so at least they acknowledge it, though.
Yeah, and here's the
Okay.
thing. They've done such a good job with Orange Cassidy as the international champion. They just keep ruining this TNT title, and you're not. And I hope Christian doesn't win it, but I could see him winning it with some outside interference from Luchasaurus.
Whatever. I'm over the Luchasaurus and Christian Cage pairing. I think Luchasaurus, what 2 weeks ago when we were talking about it, Luchasaurus came out and he was like a side piece for Christian.
Yeah.
It looked terrible. Motherfucker didn't do shit. He was sitting there just standing in the ring. Christian's like, I hate Jungle Boy. He's a loser, and so is Wardlow, and I hope you don't have a father too. Like it's like, we get it, man. You're Christian. You are the guy that hates the marks. Like it's fun, it's good, but like they do something better with Luchasaurus. Don't kill his gimmick because you're pairing him up with Christian.
Man, and they had the perfect opportunity to turn him into a king-like monster, and I just feel like he dropped the ball with that. Especially with it going back and forth.
You can't save them all in pro wrestling, man.
No.
Definitely for sure.
We're getting Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter for the second time on pay-per-view.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a pass. I'll smash him past that one.
What do you think of that one?
I'm sure it's going to be a good match. I have zero investment.
Yeah. Next is Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho in the unsanctioned match. Very much looking forward to that.
Should be fun.
And then the Elite versus Blackpool Combat Club in the Anarchy in the Arena match. Now that match I'm excited for.
Those are the two for me.
Yeah. Anarchy in the Arena is going to be amazing.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now this card is going to be amazing. Like once it actually starts and we see the matches, they seem to really work their asses off for the paper.
Yeah.
Same thing with the four-way, man. Like I fully expect that match to be worth the money, but I don't know. Yeah.
It's rather MJF's going over, which we all assume, right? Or else we're going to get a swerve and it's going to be either Darby or fucking Sammy at this point.
If it's anybody, it's Sammy. Like I can't see any of the three. But if they were to pull the swerve, like you said, it's Sammy or nobody.
MJF wins this one, but I will say this: by halfway through the match, I bet we're going to be wondering, oh wow, does MJF have a chance to lose? I think he does a very good job with that. I remember when Kenny Omega for Orange Cassidy and Pac in the threat match a couple of years ago. I went in thinking there's no way that he's losing, and then it was such a good match. I started to think, can it happen? But,
well, I do have a swerve for that, because what if Darby walks out, and what if come Collision June 17th, we get the second coming and it's the same shtick as the first one. I'm calling out Darby Allin because I want my fucking title back. And Punk comes out. Think about like a shit that we're not thinking of, right?
Yeah.
I could see it happen at United Center. Darby in the rafters with that belt on his shoulder, looking like $1 million. CM Punk coming out and be like, man, you got fucked up by bringing me back here.
You need to listen to the debate show on Monday because we booked something really good. So,
I love it.
and you'll
I'm
love
here
it.
for it. Yeah.
It's fun.
You know me, I love putting on my booking cap and getting crazy, but I'm just saying, man, it's going to be crazy regardless. But I do love you both. I am going to hop off because I do have to text some comrades here and see if we're chilling and thrilling. But if not, yeah, man, it's going to be a hell of a weekend. Tune into the official Fig Night page for all the good stuff. And who knows where I'm going to pop up because it might not just be on official Fig Night, it might be on some others too. So we'll see what's going on, okay? But you too, it's been a pleasure as always. I appreciate you both. Thanks for handling the fort, Matt. I've been out of town and running around.
I'm trying, brother. Go have some fun.
You're killing it, man. It's Vegas.
Go win
Getting
some
crazy. Hey, what's going on? We're going to get wild, right? All right, well, before I'm out, the one thing guy is out. Thank you guys for having me, as always.
See you later, buddy.
Later, guys.
See ya.
All right. That was fun.
That was fun. That was unexpected. I dig it.
Yeah, I know he said he was going to try, but he wasn't sure if he was going to make it, and it worked well. So just to get a review. I mean, I said maybe the problem is the card for me more than the build for it.
It's a really good point, man. I running it down, there's 2 matches I really am fully invested in.
Yeah, me too.
There's one match that I want to know what they do in, which is the Fatal 4-Way or whatever you're going to call it. But aside from that, like, cool. I'm sure it's going to be great. They've never let us down, but I don't know, man. It's kind of all right, cool. And there's a lot of wrestling this weekend. It's not just them. So
just 4 pay-per-views this weekend or premium live events, whatever you want to call it, between Impact, WWE, NXT, and AEW.
Yeah.
If you had nothing to do all weekend and just wanted to sit home and watch wrestling all weekend, it could absolutely be done this weekend.
Yeah,
and you'd probably have a really good time doing it because we've seen what the WWE premium live events have been, and they've been very good lately. I don't expect this card to be any different. I don't really follow Impact at all, so I don't know. So I'm sure it'll be good if you're an Impact fan. The NXT, I hear they've been putting on banger shows. I haven't followed NXT, but I will be watching Night of Champions, and I will be watching Double or Nothing live on Sunday night right here down in my basement on that 75-inch TV. So, but it'll be fun. You gonna be watching it live, Matt?
Nah. Maybe Sunday night is possible, but we're gathering at the Extra Cooler residence this weekend. We're getting the families together, so it will likely be on in the background. But yeah, I can't say that I will sit down and really invest it on time, but I absolutely will sit down and take that Monday off and rewatch it all. But I'll be following along without a doubt. It just likely won't be with sound, unfortunately. Just it's tough to balance the wrestling fandom and the being a family guy and going out there and having some fun with your family and your friends. So we try to tie it together. We've got some Extra Cooler hangs this weekend.
That's awesome, dude. And it's so cool because I know your kids watch wrestling. But I guess, will they be watching Night of Champions?
Likely, yes. We have baseball game that afternoon, so it will be abridged. We will cut it short. I'll be probably watching on the sidelines on my phone. But little man's fully invested. We're taking him and Nick's son to their first house show in White Plains, New York this June 3rd. So it'll be really cool. It's right around the corner. I'm very, very excited. We've got 2 big Cody marks. My son in particular is a Cody Rhodes fanatic. I think I've even shared a video of him in the living room wrestling his stuffed animal. So yeah, he's fully in it. He's fully invested. He hasn't watched Raw yet. So if anybody actually watches that in the AEW wrap up, Cody Rhodes gets his ass handed to him by Brock Lesnar. I'm interested to see what my little guy is upset about, but that's enough about WWE. I don't want to talk about that right now.
A fun weekend. Anything else that we didn't mention that you want to touch on tonight? Oh, let's talk about the announcement. CM Punk is CM Punk. They announced Collision for Chicago. It came out today. Like, depending on what dirt sheet you want to listen to, one of the ones I find more reliable, PW Insider, came out and said today, the news that broke last week was very exaggerated with the separation between Tony Khan and CM Punk. And I believe that. I feel like some of the dirt sheets are out against Punk, and that could be being fed to them by wrestlers. Hey, we want you to report this, and who knows? I don't know why. I don't know what the truth is, but I definitely feel like Punk has a target on his back from some of the wrestling sites out there. I'm a loyal fan to PW Insider because even when all the Punk drama was going on, they weren't reporting on it because they couldn't back up any of the stories on their own. And they won't report on something if they can't get a proper report. So the fact that they broke today that it was going to be in Chicago and then tonight, like I feel very, I put a lot of trust into what they have to say because even if they make a mistake, they'll come out and say, hey, we had a wrong report. We're sorry. They don't like to report wrong stories. So it's going to be exciting if Punk is back. Like, I can't wait to see the story. I can't wait to see the reaction. What do you think of another 2-hour show for AEW?
I'm hesitating because of the time slot. We just talked about how difficult it is to be a wrestling fan on the weekend, right? At least in my own personal world. Having a 2-hour show on Saturday night, I will tell you that there will be very few instances where I watch it on time, but I am fully invested in the product. And as long as they can carry meaningful stories and make you want to tune in, I'm there. Like I'm out on Rampage. It sounds like that's something is a normalcy amongst the crew. But yeah, man, it's a tough time slot. Saturday at 8, being an old man that just is either gonna go out to dinner on a Saturday night or is gonna hang with the kids if they already have plans. Like, for me, it's a tough sell, but I'm invested. I'm gonna check it out. Absolutely. I'll be there every week.
I think just I said like to BELCASTER last week because I work Saturday night, so I'll probably never get to watch it live. But I'm in on it.
Mm-hmm. They
have me to lose. Like, they have to keep me. Like, I don't watch Rampage. If I hear something was good on Rampage, there was a really good match, I'll go back and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
There's never been a reason for me to really tune into Rampage every week. I'm excited for Collision, so I will be tuning in every week, and it'll kind of be like me watching Raw, SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
When I watch it on a DVR, it's really nice. You could sometimes watch a 3-hour Raw in an hour and a half, maybe even less. So, I mean, I'm sure I'll be doing the same thing with this show. So we'll see. But I'm in. My Love is Punk is here. Welcome to the chat. My Love is Punk. I think we're all, well, I don't know. Are you a Punk fan, Matt?
Oh, I feel like I missed a lot of the best Punk.
Yeah.
I missed the come up of Punk, if you will. So ROH Punk was way outside of me. Yeah, I know. I'm following along. It's bottom of the 9th in the Yankee game, and they're losing by 3. It's what Tom is showing us on the screen now.
It's not no longer the bottom of the 9th.
Okay, so it's over. But I was out on wrestling from around 2002, 2003 is really when I fell off a cliff, and then didn't come back until like 2012-ish. So for me, maybe 2011, 2012. For me, I caught the tail end of Punk at WWE, and I didn't necessarily get the true sense of who CM Punk is or was. Yeah. So there's the lore. I've gone back and watched a lot of stuff. One of my favorite matches is the Cena match at Money in the Bank, right? So like, there's certainly a part of me that enjoys CM Punk, but there isn't that emotional investment that a lot of dudes have with him. But I really do like his shtick. I loved Killswitch Engaged when like he used that as his theme. Like the new theme is awesome too. Don't get me wrong. And I'm very happy that Roddy Strong has another Killswitch song as a theme. It just feels so fitting. I dig it.
Yeah. No, I think I've noticed the people who were there for Punk while he was happening are the people who are the really big fans of him. The people who have come back at the end or maybe even after just don't seem to fully get it. But maybe I can attest that to the fact that, I'd never, a lot of us never stopped watching. So for Punk to come in at that time and do what he did was just like a breath of fresh air to see somebody come out and be cut promos like that and doing something different and pushing the younger talent and saying it on TV, like dropping a pipe bomb, like and a lot of his other promos, like it was just like stuff I'd sit there watching, like, oh my God, is he really saying this? This is incredible. So I think a lot of that was because you didn't live through it and how bad the rest of wrestling was at that time.
But he's moved from, that's a really good point too, that like it was so drastically different from what was going on that, you know, made me disconnect myself. And I know the Ruthless Aggression is coming back, and that was like a time that's now being looked at as really tremendous. And I'm sure there was a lot of really good things. I didn't live it. Yeah. But CM Punk has made his way from the voice of the voiceless to somebody that just feels petulant, right? He just feels like he's whining and complaining all the time. And what's the face for? Go on.
I don't feel like he's whining and complaining all the time, but go
ahead. So he has the reputation of starting shit. How about that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me just say this. My love is Punk. Go to theturnbuckletavern.com. All of our links are there. You can follow us. We stream right here on YouTube, on Twitch. It's on Facebook. So follow us. You can get all of our links right there. We appreciate you checking in with us tonight, though. And please come back. Sorry. What was that?
No, please. That's important. So for me, I feel like he has this reputation of a shit stirrer. How about that? Like, okay, whether it's a work or not, man, I thought about sitting there and literally making a tinfoil hat to bring to this, and I'm very angry right now that I didn't do it. So go ahead.
I think what he does is very, very calculated. Whether you want to call it a shit stirrer, that's a good word for it. But I don't think he does anything by accident. Everything he does is to get people talking.
I mean, what you're saying is true.
Yeah, so like maybe a shit stirrer is the name for that. Like, is it a shit stirrer? I don't know, but as a wrestling fan, as a guy who's watched wrestling as long as I have, a lot of what he says is the truth. But I think he shows up to Impact. I think he shows up to Raw. It's no mistake he's showing up to these shows.
Sure.
He knows it's going to get people talking.
Yes.
And what it does is it generates buzz for the whole business. Because believe it or not, you know, CM Punk might be a lot of things, but he loves wrestling. And I think whether he likes a company, like the fact that he went to WWE to get people talking about it is a good thing. I don't think he went there thinking it would be negative. The fact that he looked for Triple H and spoke to Triple H for a couple of minutes, he squashed business with The Miz. This is all very calculated. Him showing, oh, look, I'm going back and I'm making amends for things. Like, so this way, if shit comes out with the Elite, look, I've made amends with other people. I wanted to make amends with them, but I don't know. Like there's more to it, and maybe we don't know the answer today.
We don't.
But we don't. But this man is very, very calculated in every move he makes.
And I admit that we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, and the very calculated nature that you're speaking about is very true. I fully agree with that statement. Whether he's stirring shit for good or for bad, it feels self-serving in a lot of times, and it makes me, maybe I'm buying the work, man. Maybe I should allow myself to put on the tinfoil hat with you, brother. But it makes you legitimately dislike the dude at times. And that's why you should turn into the Tavern debate this Monday, as we may or may not be talking about something like this.
So let me just say this, though, because you talk about Punk being how you don't like him for things he says. Well, I don't really think it's great when a guy comes out and he says, I don't listen to veterans. I don't need to listen.
Yes.
Like, really?
I think that's a big reason why I don't have the love for Hangman that everybody else does.
Yeah, I get it. And listen, Punk says when they asked him, and this was before the whole brawl out thing, and they said, what was that with Hangman? And he goes, I'm trying to sell tickets here. Like he knows the next time they fight, they have another program.
Maybe I pay enough attention to form an opinion, and I don't pay enough attention to really get the true story. Maybe that's it too, because I'm not a dirt sheet diver. Like, I'll fall for a click here and there, but like,
I don't either. Like, I have very little respect for dirt sheet writers.
I just love being there for the I just love being there for the work or for the story. Like, to me, I'd rather not have a spoiler. I know it's a lot of it's really tough to be committed to talking into a microphone multiple times a week about what we love, but yeah, man, I
And
don't know.
you do it on your shows, and we do it on our shows. Like
Mhm.
CM Punk does something, and what does it do?
We talk about it.
It's us talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about CM Punk. My love is Punk. We are talking about CM Punk, the best in the world. So no, like, listen, I love what Punk does. I love talking about this stuff. I'm a big fan of his because I was there for a very, very bad time of WWE, and to get him and Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan at the time, and getting all those guys, that was like, and then unfortunately it stunk again after that for a while. But listen, right now, overall in general, we're in a very good spot to be a wrestling fan. There's a lot of wrestling to watch. You could pick and choose. There's a lot of good wrestling to watch, and there's a lot of crap. So, dude, thank you much, and thank you for following us. Please come back and check us out on Instagram, and listen to the Extra Cooler show too. It's another great show that I listen to every single week. It's one of the shows I make sure I go out of my way to check it out.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But I guess we can wrap it up unless you have any closing thoughts. We can wrap up the wrap up.
No, I'm good here. I'm excited for a big weekend of wrestling that I didn't know Memorial Day weekend was going to be such a wrestling holiday. So here we are. I love it, man.
I'm excited for it too. And, I hope you have a great weekend with the family at the barbecues. I'll be working most of the weekend, and Sunday I'll be home looking forward to watching Double or Nothing with the wife. But
good.
Till next week. Oh, you know what? Tell everybody where they can find you. And where
awesome. You can get directly to me at Matt's in the Cooler, which is a play on our segment on the Extra Cooler show of What's in the Cooler. So yeah, come check us out. We are a nostalgia podcast, really focusing in on going back, watching old wrestling, enjoying it through the lens of a gritty old man, drinking some beers with buddies, and just talking about the idiocy and the chaos that is our favorite thing of professional wrestling. We just wrapped up and released an episode today where we went back to 1989 Clash of the Champions, and we rewatched Ric Flair against Terry Funk in an I Quit match, which, blew the doors off for us. It was something that the four of us on the show are not WCW guys, especially back in the NWA, WCW era in the late 80s there. But it was really cool to watch. It was really fun. And yeah, we've got some really good, fun things coming down the pipeline with King of the Ring 1998. We're going to do a 2-part episode on that show. I love when we go through 2-part episodes. It's just so much fun. So yeah, come check us out. The Extra Cooler Show at Extra Cooler on Twitter. At Extra Cooler on Instagram is where you can find Nick and all his beautiful, beautiful art. And an Extra Cooler Show on Twitter. And yeah, come hang out wherever you find your podcasts.
I tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed the homework assignments and you guys having to come up with matches, even though I think there's still loopholes picked through some of them.
So Mikey Workrate on our show is the king of loopholes. Like, you can put Mikey and then whatever right after it, but Mikey Loophole is something that we have called him for a very long time because of us playing fantasy sports together for the last 15, almost 20 years. So
you need to get me one of those leagues.
Oh man, I will let you know. But yeah, man, it's a good time, and the stipulations this time around with our homework assignments was a lot of fun. I dig it, and it came out with some really fun, different matches and episodes that we probably would not have picked unless we had these absurd stipulations on them. So
dude, I thought it was great. I listened to them all. It makes me wonder if the four of you had to come up with a homework assignment for me, what you guys would pick.
Your name comes up on the podcast very, very often. This past episode was no different. And
okay, to listen. I pop when I hear you guys mention.
Yeah, maybe
it's like a weekly basis.
Yeah, maybe it is.
But I love the way they throw the jokes around.
It's fun for sure. Man, I think we would innately go for something that you could teach us about. Like, that was the beauty. We had Chad on, and he brought us a WCW match that he was able to come in and be the expert and teach us something. Your appearance on the show, bringing us a Saturday night's main event with Roddy Piper being the central character in the show. We got to sit there and allowed our guests to teach us. And that's exactly what Nolanium, one of my favorite wrestling artists on Instagram and Twitter. He was just on as a guest on our show as well. And he brought an old NXT match that we got to relive the glory of the black and gold with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. So it was really fun. And it was things that we normally wouldn't do just with the four of us. And it gets us out of our comfort zone and we get to learn from the experts, which is tremendous. So we got to figure it out. We have more of the Hanging with Mr. Cooler series, which is when we have guests come on. So we've got some really fun things down the pipe, and I'm excited for it.
Awesome.
Should be a fun summer.
Dude, guys, if you really check out the Extra Cooler show, it's just a lot of fun. I listen to it every week. And that's it. The turnbuckletavern.com. Give us a follow. Go buy our new shirts. We've got 4 new shirts. 2 of them are Fig Guy shirts, and I'll be ordering mine. Memorial Day sale at ProWrestlingTees.com this weekend. So if you're looking for wrestling shirts, it's a good weekend to buy it. You can save yourself 20%. All right, let's wrap this up. Until next week, guys. For Matt, from Mike, who's no longer here. Love, peace, and pro wrestling.